And these guys fought, now forget, 10 years ago in a razor-close decision. Was a split decision win. And I'll tell you what, I expect another long, hard night for both men.
And it was a brawl. How about keys to victory?
Well, the keys to victory for Sakreerin are going to be pretty simple. Box smart from the outside, make Tabanas miss, then counterpunch effectively, and a good overhand left is probably his best weapon.
And we go on now, Bobby, to the opponent, Filipino Andy Tabanas. Polite young man, speaks a little English, one of 10 children, turned pro at 19 in 1989. Impressive amateur career. Won his first 17 pro fights before losing the slugfest to Sakreerin for the IBF strawweight title in Thailand, Sakreerin's backyard. He claims Sakreerin did a lot of holding in that fight, and the referee just ignored it. Do you think he can turn the tables on Sakreerin 10 years later?
You know, Steve, a lot can happen to any man in 10 years, especially a fighter. Their bodies and their minds have gone through so much in the wars that ensue. In this fight, the first fight, it was a very, very tight, close fight. Both of the fighters are almost exactly the same age, have almost the exact same amount of experience. I believe the man who puts his style to use more effectively and is committed emotionally is going to win this one.
He made it all the way to the 12th against the supremely talented Ricardo Lopez before he was stopped, but he did take a systematic beating in that fight. How about your keys to victory?
Well, Tabanas is not the boxer that his opponent is. He wants to keep the pressure on and cut off the ring. Also work the body, get it, stop him from running, and also a good straight right hand. It's his signature punch.
All right, let's check the numbers as we go to the tail of the tape. Just a year difference today. Get the formal introductions from our ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you, and we welcome you to the beautiful Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada, as we have a big night of action coming away, and it's all brought to you by Don King Productions in association with Vlad Wharton's Millennium Events, along with the Mandalay Bay and Showtime Championship Boxing. This bout coming away is sanctioned by the World Boxing Organization, the President Francisco Valcarcel, Supervisor in attendance Rudy Paz, along with the Nevada State Athletic Commission. The Chairman is Dr. Elias Ghanem. The officials as appointed are physicians at ringside, Dr. Margaret Goodman, Dr. Jeff Davidson, Dr. William Berliner, and Dr. Al Capana. Timekeepers at the bell, also keeping count of the knockdowns. We have Al Bisick and Mike Lachella. Introducing to you our three judges, scoring them out from ringside. From Las Vegas, Nevada, Bill Graham. Also from Las Vegas, Patricia Jarman Manning. And from Lawnside, New Jersey, John Stewart. And now the third man of the ring, our referee in charge of this bout, working in this his 11th world title bout, Tony Weeks. All right, fans, here we go. 12 rounds of boxing for the vacant WBO Junior Flyweight Championship of the World. Introducing to you first on my right, fighting out of the blue corner. Entering the ring wearing blue trunks with gold and red trim. Hailing from the Maharasarakam province in Thailand, he weighed in at the limit of 108 pounds even. With a record of 43 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw, he has 16 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the former IBF mini flyweight world champion, currently ranked the WBO #3 contender, introducing Fahlan Sakreerin. And his opponent across the ring on my left, fighting out of the red corner in this 12-round vacant championship bout. He is wearing purple trunks, hailing from Cebu City in the Philippines. He weighed in at 108 pounds with a record of 40 wins, 4 losses, and 1 draw. He has 24 of his wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight is his 3rd attempt at a world title. Please welcome the WBO Junior Flyweight #1 contender, introducing Andy Tornado Tabanas. Once again, a referee in charge, Tony Weeks, now to give instructions, 12 rounds of boxing schedule.
Okay, here we go. Let's go. Okay. Okay, right here is good. Okay, I want you to obey my commands at all times. I want you to keep everything clean. You already received your instructions in your dressing room. Okay? Watch, listen for my commands. Stop, box, and break. Okay? Right here is low. Right here is good. Right here is low. Right here is good. Right here is low. Any questions?
Any questions? Let's go.
Final instructions from Tony Weeks. Sakreerin didn't understand a word. Tabanas understood some of it. Andy Tabanas, a boxer first, but has punching power. Dangerous right hand, good chin. The southpaw, Fahlan Sakreerin, at the other corner, who started out in the intense form of kickboxing called Muay Thai when he was 5, a ring-wise boxer who usually makes for good fights. This title became vacant when Will Grigsby, who won the vacant belt, was stripped of the title for failing a urinalysis. So here we go, round 1 scheduled for 12 for the vacant WBO Junior Flyweight Championship. Sakreerin wearing the light blue, Tabanas in the dark sequin blue. Sakreerin, the southpaw, tough seasoned pro, former world champ, very awkward. Kind of makes you miss, lots of movement. He's aggressive. His primary weapon, the straight left. The main asset of Tabanas, the straight right.
Yeah, Tabanas already loaded up with one of those, but very little action right now for fighters at this weight. At this weight, they're usually throwing them right away.
And Tabanas, great heart. He withstood some huge shots from Ricardo Lopez back in 1995. But he did take some kind of a shellac.
Very late in that fight, he was just trying his best to survive that last 12th and final round. He just could not do it.
Sakreerin normally able to drive opponents back. Doesn't throw too many combinations. Lots of lead lefts. Sometimes sets it up with the right jab. He's sharp and accurate, economical with his punches, and like his opponent tonight, takes a good punch.
Very much a feeling out round right here. Both fighters taking their time, looking, being very, very patient. Not a lot of action.
Very cautious. The first fight between these two guys 10 years ago, there was a lot of action. Tabanas told us he still has an intense feeling for revenge, and you hear the crowd getting into the early booing stages. He felt that Sakreerin used roughhouse tactics repeatedly in the first encounter. He called them judo tactics.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how he got away with that, except again it was overseas, so you never can tell.
Claimed that Sakreerin grabbed him and pulled him. The referee didn't do anything about it. Sakreerin claims he didn't do any holding of the first fight, and he said he would prefer to box for the rematch. Tabanas now with a little pressure.
A wild overhand right. Tabanas has some bad intention on that right hand, that's for sure, Steve. He means to get that right hand home.
Tabanas told us Sakreerin's a good boxer. His strategy, Tabanas, is to cut off the ring, keep the pressure on, work the body.
But he's not really cutting the ring off. You notice he's following Sakreerin around to the right, which is exactly what Sakreerin wants to do. Move to his right.
Tabanas said he trained 3 months for this fight. He's been in Las Vegas about 7 days. Feels great. But should this fight go deep, a little note to tuck away. He's gone 10 rounds only once since the end of 1995. Sakreerin calls this fight a huge opportunity. His manager said that Don King, the promoter, told him if he wins tonight, he could possibly meet Ricardo Lopez or the WBA champ Davis Mendoza. The crowd with its disapproval. Tabanas with translator Leon Peninsulo.
Jab first. Jab first, left hook, and straight. Don't wait. Don't go too far from him. Cut the ring. You'll get him eventually. Move side to side, straight, and then with the left hook. Use body shot, left hook, and straight. Yeah. Give him the mouthpiece.
Trainer Alberto Gulliver with the instructions in the corner was set for round 2.
Well, he gave him some good advice. Cut off the ring, work the body, and then come up top with the left hook. But now is he going to do it?
Those are the words he told us in our fighter meeting with him yesterday as well. What he intended to do. So far, he has not.
See, part of the problem when you're a shorter fighter with shorter arms and shorter height, you do have leverage on the inside, but from the outside you don't. And sometimes you just have to walk through those punches, block them, stop them, and counter. But you have to respond when a punch is being thrown at you.
For the most part, both continued to fight from the outside, not looking to take any chances or risks on the inside. It's just a chess match at this point. And that has drawn the ire of the crowd. Rabbit punch there by Sakreerin. Hitting behind the head. Tabanas claiming Sakreerin fouled him many, many times in the first fight back in 1991.
You know, there's no question about it, Steve. Tabanas has got to work more. He's got to work his way in, maybe double, triple jab. But he's got to make those hands be in motion if he's going to get inside against a taller fighter. Nice right hand lead, but that's it. One and done.
Tabanas not following it up with a left hand. There's another left hook, but a grazing blow, and it's one and done for Sakreerin as well. I pointed out earlier, a guy who doesn't throw that many combinations. He'll throw the lead right, and then he'll stop. He'll pull back.
Tabanas is leaping in and not very accurately. Wild punches going from both fighters over the head, around the side. Both of them looking very off balance with their loading up shots.
And both extremely cautious. Tabanas fought most of his fight, he trips, against Lopez in the mid-90s in extremely overly cautious fashion for fear of being hurt. Of course, Lopez had a big reach advantage, and he also punches extremely hard for this weight class. A pitter-patter right-left combination there by Sakreerin that did absolutely nothing.
The ebb and flow stays like this, Steve. It all leans towards Sakreerin. He's got the height, he's got the range, landing a few punches more, and Tabanas not making him work, not tiring him out at all.
Sakreerin a 2-inch height advantage, 5'4" to 5'2", and a 1-inch reach advantage for Tabanas. Tabanas, the #1 rated fighter at junior flyweight, according to the WBO. Sakreerin #3. Sakreerin, a former strawweight champ. Tabanas getting his 3rd world title shot. No world titles. Final seconds of round 2. Another boring round. Let's get more on the developing Shambe Mitchell situation with Tim Smith.
Thanks, Steve. It seems like the fight is still on, and we have updates here from Dr. Flip Omansky, the former medical advisor for the Nevada State Athletic Commissioner, and the executive director of the Nevada State Athletic Commissioner, Mark Ratner, and we're going to find out now exactly what happened, Dr. Omansky. What happened back there?
Tim, we were just notified that Shambe had some problems with his knee. We went back to talk to him. He is committed to fighting. He says that he's had pain for 2 years since he had ACL surgery on his left knee. It's been doing great. He's had some recent inflammation. Back there, he was in no distress. It is his decision to go forward, and we support that.
Is he in any kind of danger or risk against a guy who is a hard puncher in terms of his not being able to avoid taking shots tonight?
I'm sure that Shambe wants to be at 100%. He told us he is at 100%, and we take him at his word. Our referee is excellent. Shambe knows the sport. He's a veteran. I'm very comfortable.
And Mark, will you advise your personnel outside the ring, inside the ring doctors to watch him closely?
Absolutely. The ring doctors will be notified. I'll let referee Cortez just know that there was a little question in the dressing room. But the most important thing, mentally, he is ready to fight. He wants to fight. He said he can't wait to fight.
So Shambe Mitchell came into this fight tonight wanting to be one of the top fighters at 140 pounds. He's going to gut it out, Steve, and we'll see what he's got tonight.
Tim, that physical problem could turn out, obviously, to be a factor because, as Shambe told us countless occasions, a key to victory against a guy like Costa will be his movement. And if he is restricted with that left knee, it could be a major problem against a power puncher like Tszyu.
I agree, Steve. There's no way Shambe Mitchell, if he has a legitimately bad injury in his knee, is going to have a chance against Tszyu without being able to move and move well.
He's already a 5-to-1
Been an awful lot of missings by big punches, too. Tabanas is telegraphing that right hand incredibly so. I mean, he's just loading up, and you can see it coming a mile away.
Here's a poking left right on the face, right on the head by Sakreerin.
Nice 1-2 by Sakreerin. His left hand's not strong. Again, not a big knockout puncher, but he's getting through and he's hitting Tabanas. He's adding up point by point.
Tabanas in the dark blue sequin trunks, 44-1, 40 wins, 4 losses, 1 draw, 24 knockouts. Fahlan Sakreerin, 43-2-1 with only 16 knockouts. Not a huge puncher. Uses boxing skills. Sakreerin from Mahasarakam, Thailand. Tabanas out of Cebu City, the Philippines.
So when you have an outside boxer like Sakreerin, especially the fact that he's a southpaw and he's much more comfortable outside, he's probably a little awkward for most orthodox fighters. You have to press him, take him out of his game plan, work his body, make him work and do things on the inside he's not comfortable with, like that.
A lot of movement here, side to side, bobbing and weaving by Tabanas, but he's not getting much done. He's doing a lot of missing, but right there, Sakreerin didn't make him pay when he missed. Our translator, Erica Chechachung for Sakreerin.
Combination, light combination. To the water. Be good. Combination. Left and right and uppercut the body. You have the half hand. We have the chance. Be strong. Follow up and have the uppercut.
Round 4 scheduled for 12 for the WBO Junior Flyweight Championship. As reported earlier by our colleague Tim Smith, the main event is on. Kostya Tszyu versus Shambe Mitchell as we speak. Shambe Mitchell with an injury to his left knee. But when he heard that there was a possibility of the fight being canceled, he broke down and got very emotional. He calls this the fight of his life. He doesn't want something like this to stop the fight. Well, Kostya Tszyu has said the same thing. This is the fight of his life, Bob.
Well, we talked earlier about the premium on the significance of this fight, not just in this division, but in boxing. It makes a statement. Back to the Hagler, Leonard, Duran's, Hearns, guys that stepped up to be counted, and he's stepping up as is due.
And lately, these title unification fights are breathing new air into boxing. The quality of matchups is improving. Trinidad Vargas, Mayweather, Corrales, tonight Tszyu, Mitchell, Casamayor, Freitas down the line. There seems to be a new awareness of the desires of the fans, the public demanding better fights. But I'll tell you, while the fans and the media are finally getting what they want, the turnstiles aren't really turning. There's a lack of presence of the national media here tonight. Yes, there's another fight show going on, but not nearly the same significance as the main event tonight. And you can't blame the gate on steep prices. This one is relatively reasonably priced. The cheapest seat, $25. It's a dilemma.
Sometimes people wish for certain things, they get them, and they don't support them, and it's not normal for boxing fans to do that. Nice counter left hook and right hand by Tabanas. Probably his best combination of the night.
Less than a minute in round 4.
He's starting to get his counterpunch timing back. There's a nice left hook to the body. Might have been a little low.
These two guys are trying to fill a vacancy tonight. Ricardo Lopez, the IBF champ from Mexico. Babis Mendoza, the WBA champ from Colombia. Choi Yo-sam of South Korea, representing the WBC, recently retained his title just a few weeks ago.
Tabanas having a much better round, but there he walks into a 1-2. He's just waiting too much for his lack of size. He's got to get in there and close the gap.
As we head for the bell, round 4.
Stop.
Tabanas looks frustrated. So coming up next, we are pleased to report Kostya Tszyu, Shambe Mitchell, our main event to unify the WBC and WBA super lightweight titles. Kostya Tszyu breathing a sigh of relief after hearing that the fight is still on. In light of the injury to Shambe Mitchell's knee, Kostya, holding the WBC version of the belt, will receive a purse of $800,000 reportedly. Mitchell getting $900 grand. Former Russian amateur star who journeyed to Australia after he won the World Amateur Championships in '91 with the then Soviet Union breaking up. He passed on the '92 Olympics, settled in Sydney, turned pro, moved his wife, 2 sons and parents down under as well. Speaks with a Russian/Australian accent as he limbers up and gets ready for Shambe Mitchell. Round 5. Not much of a fight, but if you have to pick a guy who's in the lead, I would say it's Sakreerin right now.
You know, I have Steve 3-1. The last round, I thought Tabanas started to close the gap. Also started to land some of those punches. Most of his power punches were starting to get home, but he's not throwing enough punches, not working hard enough. And Sakreerin just out moving him from the outside a little bit.
Of course, here in the States, usually the heavier the weight class, the more attention, but in many parts of the world, like the Pacific Rim and in the Latin countries, the lighter weight classes really get celebrated. Easy to assume the ugly American attitude and snub the little men of boxing, but oftentimes they provide just as much, if not more, excitement than the big guys. But so far, unfortunately, tonight, the exception. Now, I could see where he might do that against a great fighter like Ricardo Lopez, but he could beat this guy if he asserted himself a little more. And he said he doesn't have any trouble with southpaws, even though he lost to Sakreerin the first time around. He says, generally speaking, they do not give him that much grief.
They say he has one sparring partner that's a southpaw, which he uses all the time, just for that reason.
He got a little braver against Lopez midway through the fight. He took some risks, but he fought more just to survive rather than to win the title. He fought as if he just didn't want to get hit. And sometimes who could blame him against a guy like Lopez?
I think he even talked about before that fight, the time that he wanted to tell his grandchildren someday that he went the distance with the great Ricardo Lopez. Not something you should worry about. Worry about beating him.
Fell just short of that. Yeah, it was stopped in the 12th round, so you can't even tell them that. Watch the head. Sakreerin came in close, and the awkward nature of the southpaw style usually creates that.
Both fighters doing a lot of waiting. 1-2 punch combinations, and that's it. 1-2 punch counters.
Sakreerin at times almost taunting Tabanas. He doesn't understand Thai, of course, Tabanas, but he's making gestures indicating to Tabanas to punch. Come on. Is that all you have? And you hear the crowd reaction.
II.WBO ซ้ายขวานี่มีตามนี่ไม่มีตามเลยพอกดหน้ากระแทกซ้ายต่อยซ้ายแล้วขวาอัพคัตนี่มึงเอาขวาไปเกี่ยวไว้อย่างเดียวเข้าใจไหมยกให้ไปเลยยกหกเร็วเร่งไม่เร่งไม่ได้นะมึงมาแจ้งนี้ได้ไงล่ะเข้าใจไหมพอต่อยขวากันพอต่อยซ้ายพอขวาแล้วซ้ายอย่างเงี้ยเข้าใจไหมเบียดกันมันเขาไม่หนีไงเราไม่หนีมาต่อยมาเราเอาเลยสวนเลยซ้ายกับขวาแล้วเรายิงก่อนนะยิงซ้ายแล้วหมุนขวาแล้วอัพคัตขวาซ้ายตามอยู่ด้วย
You understand Thai?
No, I don't. but I understood some of those hand gestures, Steve.
Yes. The universal language of boxing. Round 6.
But I still won't venture a guess.
I do not blame you.
It appeared that his trainer was telling him when he goes to the body to come back up in combinations, which is a smart thing to tell a fighter. But again, my interpretation was amateur at best.
That's as good a guess as any.
Okay.
Bobby?
Well, and it wouldn't be bad advice because he's landed some good body shots, but he didn't come up top with anything after that. And certainly that's where you go. Start at the bottom, come up top. Tabanas is still looking to get one big right hand through, Steve. One and done, and it's really a shame here again. And he followed that one with at least a left hook, but he's throwing one counter punch at a time.
Those punches met in midair. They were thrown simultaneously.
See, Sakreerin at least throws 2, 3, maybe even 4. When he misses, he comes back with something else like that. He missed 2 punches, but here he comes back in.
Last time. Keep him up. Tabanas being cautioned by Tony Weeks for a low blow. I thought it was Sakreerin who was guilty. And Sakreerin's getting awfully close with that head. Again, a straight left hand by Sakreerin does not follow it up with the right. What in the world is he afraid of? And I can say that more so about Tabanas because Sakreerin only has 16 knockouts in his 43 wins. The guy...
Tabanas does seem overly cautious, Steve. I think you're right. But what he seems to be doing is, you see him going back on his right foot. He's rocking and trying to fire his right hand as if he's going to catch him with some leverage on the way in, but he's just not catching him. Nice straight left to the body there by Sakreerin.
But this fight's not going to break any records for punches thrown. One at a time. None in bunches, no clusters, no sustained attacks. No flurries, no combinations even. 1-2 combination you don't see. Here's one. Stop. And that will do it for round 6. Let's get an update from Tim Smith.
Steve, this fight is on. Charmbay Mitchell, little big man, he's going to show a lot of heart tonight. He's going to get in the ring. He's going to prove that he's the best 140-pound champion. Charmbay, is it going to have any effect on you tonight, the knee?
Oh, not at all. Not at all. I'm going in there like a champion. I'm a true champion. They only told us one thing in the ghetto, and that's fight. And that's all I know how to do.
So you're going to make a fight of it. Now, what precipitated the problem with your knee?
It was years ago. I had a knee injury in training just before I fought for the world title, and, you know, I had to have surgery on it. Things happen, you know. I just told my camp that I want to fight. This is what I worked all these years for. And there's no way I can go out with just not fighting. Are you crazy? Come on. And it's another belt over there that I know I can have. It's mine.
Now, you work with Mackie Shillstone to get in condition for this fight. The guru worked with you, and he helped you out. What do you think that's going to bring for you in this fight?
Oh, you know, I've been going 12 rounds. I'm just going to go a lot stronger. I'm a lot more powerful. I'm going to do what I have to do.
Now, they say that Kastazu's a hard puncher, and he's supposed to be a strong guy and knockout artist. Does this injury change your strategy and the manner in which you were going to fight him?
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all. Actually, you know what? It's going to enhance it because I'm going to push even harder.
Okay, Steve, there you have it from Charmbay Mitchell, little big man with the big heart. He's going to fight tonight. He's going to go in and try to take that title away from Kastazu.
All right, Tim, thank you so much. A defiant Shambe Mitchell looking to overcome not only the odds, a 5-to-1 underdog, but an injured knee. Now the good news is the fight is still on.
A little bit of a cut over the right eye of Sakreerin. I got a funny feeling it might have been banging heads because there was a lot of clashing in the early part of this round.
Again, a leaning straight left, a leaping punch there by Sakreerin, but that is it. Now both fighters look tired. It's the 7th round. Past the halfway point.
Sakreerin still started out this round using much better pace than Tabanas. Tabanas has got to pick it up.
Like that. Looks like he's trying to end it on one punch. He did score with that heavy right, but Sakreerin has a great chin.
And not that, but now he's hanging back, waiting as if Sakreerin's going to put his chin out there for him to hit it.
Yeah, he's daring Tabanas. Obviously feels that whatever Tabanas is throwing, it's not bothering him that much. There's another right hand off the head of Sakreerin, and Sakreerin didn't even flinch. And Sakreerin comes forward and now finally launches somewhat of a barrage.
Sakreerin still being the aggressor, even though Tabanas is the bigger puncher.
The blood outside the right eye of Fahlan Sakreerin doesn't seem to be getting into the eye to blur his vision and be a factor to his advantage.
Tabanas going back to the ropes. This does not suit him against the style that he's fighting. When he's backing up, he can't land the power shots. He rocks on his right foot, he's trying to land the home run, but it's just too little, too late.
And good defense by Sakreerin. It's almost as if he knows what punch is coming in advance. A straight left that sends Tabanas back by Sakreerin just before the bell. Another round for Sakreerin. And he is piling them up.
Hello. Be careful. Yeah.
Especially if it's Tabanas a couple of points ahead, but it's Bill Graham.
How many minutes? Follow up combination. Lateral moving. Shot line and uppercut.
The possibility this is where the heads butted, and the cut may have been right there. His eye right into forehead of Tabanas. That could have been it there.
And Krista Korn-Pukrajov, the cut man for Sakreerin, going to work between rounds. Round 8, the restless fans in attendance here at the Mandalay Bay Event Center were louder in round 7 as they sensed blood from the right eye of Fahlan Sakreerin, but still it did hold Sakreerin back from his aggressive nature.
Well, you know what? It also picked up the pace this fight. It really got better in the 7th. You see now the fighters are fighting. First round, a lot of feeling out. Second and third rounds, equally light in action. This is better.
This is for the vacant WBO junior flyweight or 108-pound championship.
So you can see Tabanas, he backs up a little at a time, and rocks off that right foot, trying to land the home run ball. It's just not working.
Tabanas, 24 of his 40 wins by knockout. His 3rd shot at a world title. He's rated #1 by the WBO. Sakreerin, former IBF strawweight champion, won the title in 1990 with a 7th round TKO over Eric Chavez. 7 successful defenses through 3 years, including a decision over Andy Tabanas in 91. Lost the title in 92 to Manny Melchor and hasn't fought for a title since until tonight.
Nice left hand by Sakreerin, right over the top of the gloves of Tabanas. Tabanas tried to counter back, but it was the best punch of the night for Sakreerin.
Tabanas has not been able to hurt or really get the respect of Sakreerin, and Sakreerin just landed with a straight left, and he tells Tabanas, come on, punch!
You know what, Sakreerin right now, Steve, is out working Tabanas. That's how he's winning the fight.
He is out hustling Tabanas, no question.
beautiful counter right hand by Tabanas. No left hook, one and done.
Really ate a right hand, didn't he? But, again, it didn't phase him.
Good chin's never been stopped, and Tabanas is going to have to learn combinations. Maybe the second or third one gets him off his feet.
Sakreerin is tough. He's got a little trickle of blood on the bridge of his nose. He's got blood on the outside of his right eye. And it's not bothering him a bit. Good right hand there to the side of the head by Sakreerin. It may have not landed cleanly, but it'll get your attention.
Stop.
Wild swing and a miss by Tabanas, but Sakreerin couldn't make him pay. Well, a little more action anyway.
Andy, antum bagni utara.
You're just throwing one or two punches. Why are you not throwing more than 3 punches?
You have to use a lot of punches.
Throw a lot of punches. If you're just throwing one or two punch, one punch.
One of the better punches of the round. That straight left hand and an overhand left for Sakreerin. The left hand began through, and there he's taunting Tabanas a little bit. And Tabanas does eventually answer him back with a couple of right hands of his own.
Bobby Tabanas' trainer, Alberto Villaver, pretty much is expressing our sentiments.
Well, he's being outworked, Steve. He's well behind. He's being outworked, and we're getting the dangerous part of the fight now. Round 9.
Scheduled for 12 for the vacant WBO junior flyweight title. There's a lot at stake here for these two 30-something fighters. But it's only Sakreerin who seems to be pressing the issue, not Tabanas.
As far as effective aggressor goes, the vast majority of this fight, the aggressiveness has been by Sakreerin, and he's been pretty effective. Tabanas has sat back, tried to counter, rock and roll, lay on Sakreerin, looking for 1 or 2 shot counters, but it's not getting the job done.
Tabanas again claiming he's getting head-butted by Sakreerin. The best punches by Tabanas are those that Sakreerin just seems to be walking into carelessly. There's a good left hand that puts Tabanas back right on the jaw.
You know, he started with one good fighting first, Steve. Body shot first, and he came up with the chin, just what his trainer had said 2 or 3 rounds ago.
Yes, Sakreerin able to follow it up with a combination to the head. Good left hand by Tabanas.
But there again, in the right hand, one at a time.
That's it.
One left hook, one right uppercut. He's got to throw some combinations. He's got to let them hands fly.
Sakreerin, a year older at 32. But he's looking the much younger of the two here.
That punch was south of the border by Sakreerin. That was definitely low.
Yeah, every once in a while he unleashes. Oh, there's a good straight left hand that really got the attention of Tabanas.
And there he follows it up with another combination. Now, those punches didn't land, but at least he's making the effort.
Sakreerin, one of those old warriors who tries every trick in the book. He tests the referee. He sees what he can get away with.
That's the mark of an old pro.
Yep. He'll headbutt. He'll rabbit punch. He'll go south of the border. He'll test you. And in the meantime, he frustrates and plays with the mind of his opponent.
Tabanas is almost completely counter-punching from the outside, moving back and side to side, Steve. And I just don't think it behooves him being shorter and with his style.
Tabanas getting pushed back again. Remember, Sakreerin is used to fighting at a higher weight at 112. He's actually coming down a bit to 108. So he is probably the stronger of the two naturally.
He walked into a nice left hook, Sakreerin did. Stop. Let me go.
Round 9 of the books. Good time to remind you that Showtime Championship Boxing returns next Saturday, February 10th, when we travel to Widnes, England, just outside Liverpool, to bring you a World Championship bout. WBO junior middleweight champ Harry Simon faces the hard-punching Robert Allen. Catch this special same-day coverage at 10 p.m. Eastern and Pacific.
That's my birthday, Steve.
Congratulations ahead of time.
21 again.
Yeah. You don't look a day over 20.
Thank you so much.
Breathe. Get it. Guys throwing more punches than you. Throw a lot of punch. Give him water.
Our interpreter, Leon Panincillo, giving us the words of trainer Alberto Villaver again, who's saying pretty much what we were saying.
Who's being exactly accurate. He's being outpunched, he's being outworked, and that's costing him this fight.
That was a rare left-right combination by Tabanas in this fight.
And it landed and he didn't come back with anything.
Again, it is Sakreerin coming forward, and he just ate a shot by Tabanas.
That was a beautiful counter right hand by Tabanas, but no follow-up, no left hook or uppercut, and he moved so beautifully, landed right in the button, slipped a straight left by Sakreerin. It's a shame. There he tried to do it again, but not with the same results.
Tabanas with his hands down really low, asking for trouble, trying to use his leg movement to scoot away from Sakreerin. It's hard to fight going backwards, as you know, Bobby. Not too many guys can do it successfully. Muhammad Ali, of course.
And especially shorter guys. See, the short man can't be forward going backward. His leverage is on the inside coming forward. Certainly not on the outside going backward.
Tabanas steps forward. He shot the left, but it was blocked nicely by Sakreerin. There's another one and done, a straight right by Tabanas.
He's landing some nice counter shots, but again, they're one at a time with no follow-up whatsoever.
Stop. And you know, another thing, Bobby, I've noticed, Tabanas doesn't work the body enough.
He really has been headhunting all night, just rocking on that right hand, a couple of big left hooks like that, nothing downstairs. Not systematically breaking down a taller man in any way that I've been accustomed to the schooling of boxers. They learn it. And look, he just consistently satisfied, staying outside, walking away from Sakreerin, bobbing, weaving, and throwing one big shot. And if it lands, it lands. If it doesn't, no harm, no foul.
They've got to be very upset in the Tabanas corner. Alberto Villaver, Richie Augustine, Randy Beltran, the trainers. This may be a reason Andy Tabanas doesn't have any world titles. He's been close on a couple of occasions. This is his third shot.
Showed some nice defense there, landed a couple of counters, again one at a time. Made Sakreerin miss, but this is not how you win a world championship.
Very unusual. Tabanas looking into the crowd and smiling. Not sure what's going through his mind right now.
Eddie. Back left hook. He's open. You're not throwing enough punches. Throw 4 rounds. It's the 11th round. You're not throwing enough punches. Only 1-2 punch. What's wrong? Don't throw only 1-2 punch. There's only 2 rounds left. You have to throw more punches. Throw body. You need to throw punches. You need to throw punches.
You hear the sense of urgency now in the Tabanas corner of the book on Tabanas as we reach the 11th round, traditionally called the championship rounds. He likes to keep busy and throw nice combinations, but we have seen no evidence of that here.
You know, I don't know if he's got a hurt hand or he's tired or something's wrong, but he just seems to be content to stay outside. Look, he just walks backward, loads up one shot, and then just walks backward again.
Well, it prompted Alberto Villaver, his trainer, to say, "What's wrong?" So he must think something's wrong with Tabanas, too, because this is not Tabanas' normal style.
And he's just being outworked. It's just that simple.
He's been able to acclimate to the environment. He's been here about 7 days. It is a long trip from the Philippines. He said about 15 hours. But he certainly had enough time to adjust.
Well, I have him behind so far that he needs a knockout to win with only a couple of rounds left, including the rest of this round. So he's got to do something pretty quick.
Stop. No, back ahead. Here we go.
Tabanas sticking the jab, does not follow it up with a right hand or a left hook.
10 years is a long time to wait for revenge and then not even make a real serious attempt at it.
And after he told us point blank yesterday, as again he looks over to the crowd and smiles for some reason, Andy Tabanas, he told us to our faces, despite the fact that it's been a decade since their last fight, which he lost to Sakreerin, he still has an intense rage and fire for revenge. You wouldn't know it by his performance tonight.
There's a beautiful right-hand counter, but again, it's just one. His left hand is dangerously low, consistently, very few hooks being thrown. I can't but wonder if the left hand doesn't have a little bit of a problem.
Unless there's something wrong with it, correct.
And there's a hook. But again, not like he was. There's a beautiful right hand.
But again, does not follow it up.
That's the best right hand he landed all night long. You can see a little bit of wobble in Sakreerin's legs, and he didn't follow it up with much at all.
Well, unless Tabanas can score a dramatic come-from-behind knockout here, forget about it. Look how he's just staying away and keeping his hands down by his sides.
Stop.
A sneaky left hook there as they were breaking by Tabanas. Do you think there's any possible way that Tabanas can win this fight on points? And I'm not being facetious. I'm just asking you a genuine question as he made the transformation to boxing. 11 down.
Last round.
How many rounds?
Last round. Throw more punches. Punch, move. Everybody in Cebu is waiting for you to win this title. You're not throwing enough punches.
Beautiful rock and roll counter by Tabanas. Makes that punch miss and lands. That's the best punch he has landed all night. Flush right hand, buckling knees, just a little bit of Sakreerin. Here's another look. Slips it and hits him right on the jaw. That was his best punch tonight, but no left hook behind it, no uppercut, nothing. Here's a little bit of the throw. Yeah, that's kind of a little bit Muay Thai.
Final round coming up.
Good old-fashioned trip throwdown.
Right over his knee.
Come here. No. Come here.
All right, they'll touch gloves for round 12. Tony Weeks brings them together.
Here we go. Box.
Oh, Sakreerin offers a little hug and then pushes him away.
You know what? Fighters are strange people.
Oh, yes. I know that from working with you, Bobby, but we won't go any further.
That's okay. I recognize my insanity, too.
I just hope it's not rubbing off. Here we go, round 12. Although I did notice Jim Gray getting a little strange.
Nice inside combination there. Sakreerin, again, outworking Tabanas. And now Tabanas is running from the outside. I think he should be pressing the fight. He needs to do something. It's the last round. He has no more time.
And a wild miss there by Tabanas, and nearly another roughhouse tactic there by Sakreerin. Yes, every once in a while Tabanas does get a punch off that lands, but not often enough.
The last round was one of Tabanas' better rounds, but he's had so few. Stop. 2 or 3 rounds at most. He's won during the whole fight so far. I can't see how he would expect a decision, and he doesn't look to me like he's desperate for a knockout.
But you know what? He's fighting as if he thinks he's ahead on points. Does it appear that way? Look at him.
That's what I mean. He doesn't seem desperate at all for a knockout, and I can't think that he thinks he's ahead.
Perhaps in his mind, he is, just by his body language.
Well, I just got done telling you all fighters are a little crazy, right?
Well, obviously Sakreerin feels the same way, that he's ahead.
Well, he's done a little more work.
You see this? Showboating by a guy who seems to be losing.
And not losing by a little bit.
You think by a lot?
I think by a significant margin. But then again, maybe the only people, Steve, a little crazy than fighters are some of the judges. I've seen some decisions that didn't look like the fight I watched.
After doing so many fights, not just in Las Vegas, and we're not going to start getting into that stuff, but anywhere, you do see some unusual decisions. Oh, Tabanas walked right into a left, and then he buckled and nearly went down.
And you know what, Steve? I think after he hit him with the left, they banged heads, and that shocked him even more than the punch.
And he's blinking his eyes. He is not all there, Bobby. Tabanas just got short-circuited.
And Sakreerin didn't jump on him, didn't see what we saw, or is just content to stay on the outside for the next 25 seconds or so and win.
Tabanas on rubbery legs right now. He's trying to regroup. 20 seconds and counting. He put his hand up and he gets booed by the crowd.
If he thinks he won his decision after the fight in the interview, I'm going to be in shock.
Well, I think that's what's going through his mind right now. He thinks he's ahead. And I wouldn't be surprised if people here at ringside felt the same way. But I don't.
I would be surprised, Steve. I wouldn't be as nice as you.
Okay. No, I'm just going on history here. And that's it. This fight is in the books for the vacant WBO Junior Flyweight Championship, which we think was won not by this man, but by the other guy, Fahlan Sakreerin. I mean, even the corner of Tabanas was exhorting him, urging him to be busier.
Yeah, you got no more punches. You got to fight. He's out punching you. He's out punching you. And that's not a signal that you're winning.
But again, it would not surprise me if the decision went the other way. And there he is, Andy Tabanas, looking to complete a dream here of his first world title. But to be very honest, I just don't think, and I know Bobby feels the same way, that he fought like he was chasing a dream.
Changed his style from the fighter.
No, he definitely did not fight with a championship attitude, Steve.
You think it worked
just
for him?
Didn't do it.
Yeah. The past only the boxer, only fighder. Now he can do.
I would say Sakreerin wins the fight, but I just have a feeling it's going to be close.
Right eye.
If he wins the fight.
We're going to take a look at that straight left hand. He throws it right down the pipe, and he lands, and then, well, that wasn't heads. He hit him with a right hook after that, and then just sort of pushed him. But it was a good, clean left hand and a little bit of a short right hook afterward.
What do you think? A split decision, majority decision, draw?
Unanimous decision, runaway decision.
That's what I think, too, but you don't know here. Now, it looked like just a clean punch. Let's get it up to Jimmy Lennon Jr. for the decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of boxing, we have a split decision. Here are the score totals. Judge ringside, John Stewart scores about 115 to 113 in favor of Fahlan Sakreerin. Judge at ringside, Patricia Jarman Manning scores about 116 to 112 in favor of Andy Tabanas. Judge at ringside, Bill Graham scores about 114 to 114. Even a draw. The decision is even a draw.
But I say,
one of the judges had Sakreerin losing 8 rounds to 4.
116-112.
That's a 4-round swing in a 12-round fight. That's 8 to 4.
Had Tabanas winning it 116 to 112. Another one had it even 114-114. Bill Graham from Vegas. John Stewart 115-113 for Sakreerin. That's the one that makes the most sense.
I had it 9 rounds to 3. 117-111 for Sakreerin.
Stewart from Jersey, by the way. And that's that. No surprise. I'm not surprised by it.
Well, at least my Jersey guy had the right winner.
Yeah.
He had the right. I mean, his was a lot closer than mine was, but oh my goodness.
A draw, and Sakreerin has to really be miffed, really be upset, because it seemed from this vantage point that Sakreerin won. You could hear the reaction by the crowd. That decision was almost as much a stinker as the fight.
Look at the guys there, and Tabanas with a great big smile with the draw, and the other guy disappointment should tell you that one of those guys actually knew they won, whereas the other just prayed for the best results. I don't know anybody that smiles for a draw or thinks the draw is fair, ever. Not a fighter. They all think they won.
Right.